Hello learners, welcome to this session. I am Dr. Arvind Shakya, Faculty of Biochemistry, School of Sciences, IGNOU, New Delhi. Today I will talk about the structure and properties of water. This topic is related to the course Molecules of Life for the BSc Honours Biochemistry program. As we know, the water is the principal component of living organism. It provides life support to all living organisms. Living organism living on this earth, they can live on the earth, water, and inside the ice. The water makes up to 70% more of the body weight of all living organism. Without water, life would not exist. So where the water is the present, it possibility of origination of life. The scientific evidence suggested that life first arose in an aqueous environment. On this earth, the water covers 71% of the earth's surface, mostly in seas and oceans. There are 5 properties of water. Water has unusual properties. The most important properties of water, such as it has high polar component, it provides attraction to other molecules and charged molecules, it has low density of ice, stores heat, and it acts as an acid and a base. So in this session I will cover the following topic, such as describe the structure properties of water, define the hydrophilic and hydrophobic van der Waals and electrostatic interactions, and explain ionization of water and define the pH concept. What makes a water molecules? Water is a simple molecules which consist of single oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms. Single oxygens is covalently bonded to the 2 hydrogen atoms, which makes H2O. H2O is the chemical formula of water. Oxygen has 8 electrons and 8 protons and 8 neutrons. The inner shell of oxygen has 2 electrons and outer shell of oxygen has 6 electrons. So during the reaction of between oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms, the 1 electron of each hydrogen atom donate or share the electrons with the oxygen atom. So there are 2 covalent bonds formed between oxygen and hydrogen atoms. Other than the 2 covalent bonds, there are 2 unshared electrons on the oxygen atom, which do not bind to other atoms. Here we can see that the molecular geometry of water, the hydrogen and oxygen, the electron sharing of hydrogen and oxygen electrons, they share the electrons between oxygen and hydrogens. There are 2 bonding electrons pair and there are 2 non-bonding electron pairs on the oxygen region. So the non-bonding electrons pair repel each other and they reduce the bond angle of HOH. So the molecular geometry of oxygen of H2O looks like a tetrahedron. So the repulsion of the non-bonding electron pairs causes the bend shape or non-linear shape of the water molecule. So the oxygen is a more electronegative atom than hydrogen atom. So the oxygen nucleus is attract electron share from the hydrogen electron and it causes the unequal sharing of electrons between HOH. So this results in a 2 electric dipoles in water molecules. So water molecules causes the polar nature. It means it is a polar molecules due to the presence of opposite charges. So one positive charge on the hydrogen atom and another negative charge is on the oxygen atom in a water molecule. Therefore, the dipole moment is created on the water molecule. Each water molecule bears positive charge hydrogen atom and negative charge on oxygen atom. The presence of opposite charges, positive and negative, the water molecules allow to formation of hydrogen bonds between water molecules. Hydrogen bonding is an electrostatic interaction between partial positive charge and partial negative charges. So the oxygen atom of one water molecules attract to hydrogen atom of another molecules. So between between two water molecules forms a hydrogen bonding. The distance of hydrogen bonding is 0.17 nanometer. The hydrogen bonding in ice, when liquid is transformed or converts into the solid state, means the hydrogen bonding formation is stabilized structure of hydrogen, stabilized structure of water, which produce a crystal structure of ice. During the formation of the ice, hydrogen bonding can be 4 hydrogen bonds of one water molecules can form 4 hydrogen bonds. So this is the ice structure. The hydrogen bonding gives unusual properties of water such as relative high boiling point, specific heat, cohesion and density. Water is a tasteless, odorless and transparent substance. It is a transparent and it is transparent water. It allow to penetrate of the sunlight, which is beneficial for the aquatic animals. And water is present in 3 states: solid, liquid and gas, and it is a universal solvent as dissolving many substances. Now come to the unique properties of water. The hydrogen bonding of water gives unusual properties of water, which is the melting point 0 degree centigrade, boiling point 100 degree centigrade, heat of evaporation 2260 joule per gram, and dielectric constant is the 78.5 at 25 degree centigrade, and density 999.97 kilogram per at 4 degree centigrade. So come to what is melting point. Melting point is the temperature at which solid state converts into liquid state. So the water has 0 degree melting temperature, and below this temperature water is solid. So solid water convert to liquid water and liquid water convert to solid state ice form. Now high boiling point. Water has high boiling point, and high boiling point means the temperature at which liquid turn into vapor states. When we boil the water by external heat, water molecules vibrate each other, and at the 100 degree centigrade temperature water molecules evaporate. So the water changes state into the vapor state at 100 degree centigrade. So the boiling of water is 100 degree centigrade at atmospheric pressure. High heat capacity. High heat capacity of molecule is its ability to absorb heat without much increase in its temperature. Water has high specific heat and it requires to absorb 4.814 joules of heat in order to raise the temperature of 1 gram of H2O by 1 degree centigrade. This is the beneficial for organism to withstand temperature fluctuation. Water acts as a buffer heat. So water absorbs heat and produce the cooling effect. When the temperature is rise, then our body feeling this feels and the water evaporates from the body in form of sweating. High heat of evaporation. High heat of evaporation means the liquid state transport into gas state. during the heat of vaporization, and it is defined the amount of energy in calories required to solvent 1 mole of liquid into the gaseous state at a constant temperature. So water has high heat of vaporization 540 kilocalorie per gram at 100 degree centigrade, which is the water boiling point. So water has high boiling point because of the high heat of vaporization. So many organism loses excess body heat by evaporation of the through sweating. Now come to the another important property of density. Water has the most density at 4 degrees centigrade. With it increase with when it freezes below 4 degrees centigrade, it becomes less dense than liquid water. That's why the ice floats on the liquid water, and we can see on the Antarctica oceans where the ice floats on the water because the water has less density in dense form than the liquid form. So the water supports the life of aquatic organism, and the layer of ice is freezing solid at the top of the liquid water and effectively insulate the underlying water, allowing most aquatic organisms survive in winter. And the ocean living organisms such as bear and penguins, they live in the winter temperature. Another property of water is the water is a cohesive molecule. It means cohesion means the stickiness. Cohesive property of water makes water together, and the molecules of water is hold the other water molecules together. When water is an excellent cohesive property because of hydrogen bonding. So cohesion hold and stick water molecules together. So here in this picture, the droplets of water is showing the cohesion. Another application of cohesion is the it provides the high surface tension, and you can see this in this picture. The soap bubble is the cohesive force in this photograph. Due to the cohesion of water molecules, it makes the bubble due to the high surface tension. And the high surface tension provides the flowing of the insect on the liquid water, and the hydrogen bonding stabilize on the surface of water molecules, which allow the insects to move on the water surface. Non-covalent interaction in ecosystem. Water molecules play a very important role to form another interactions such as hydrophilic interactions, electrostatic interaction, van der Waals interaction. So these interactions are very useful for biological molecules, and this type of interaction makes water as a universal solvent. Water is a universal solvent because of its polar nature and formation of hydrogen bonding. There are many molecules which are polar and charged molecules which can dissolve easily in water. So such as glucose, fructose, these are molecules which soluble in water, and they form the hydrogen bonding between water and the polar molecules. Other than the hydrogen bonding, there are another biomolecules which forms the hydrogen bonding such as peptide bonds and nitrogenous bases in DNA. DNA is a double helical helix and which form the hydrogen bonds. Their nitrogenous base such as thymine and adenine forms the 2 hydrogen bonds, and the guanine and cytosine form the 3 hydrogen bonds. So hydrogen bond is not only present in water, but other biomolecules, proteins, peptides, hormones and DNA, they also form the hydrogen bonding. Hydrophilic and hydrophilic interactions allow the specific interaction to the fatty acids. Hydrophilic means the water loving and hydrophobic means water fearing or afraid of water. So hydrophilic molecules are such substances which are bound by hydrogen bonding of water molecules, and they are soluble in water. And hydrophobic means they are not soluble in water and they are away from the water molecules. So some substances have both type of groups, hydrophilic and hydrophobic groups, such as phospholipids. The phospholipids are such molecules which have two types of groups, hydrophobic and hydrophilic groups. Hydrocarbon chain is the hydrophobic and phosphate group is the hydrophilic group, which are soluble in water. When we phospholipid dissolve in water, the hydrophilic portion, phosphate group, is bind to the water molecules, and the hydrophobic group is the hydrocarbon chain is away from the water. So they do not interact with the water molecules. So in this scenario, the phospholipids molecules can form the bilayer structure or micelle structures, which are very useful to formation of cell membrane, which act as a barrier of the surrounding medium. Van der Waals interactions. Van der Waals interactions are weak interactions, and this interaction occurs when non-polar molecules or atoms close each other and their attraction of the nuclei and the electron clouds between them. When two non-polar molecules or neutral atoms are close in a proximity and the movement of the electron and their nuclei and the electron are transiently create a transient dipole, and the nuclei is attracted to electron cloud of the atoms. So in this very short period they develop the van der Waals interaction. Electrostatic interaction is the interaction of the water molecules and the charged molecules. For example, when we dissolve the NaCl in distilled water, the NaCl is soluble in water. NaCl is the crystal structure and sodium is the positive and calcium chlorine is the negative. So when we dissolve the NaCl into the water molecules is replaces the sodium chlorine interactions, and the hydrogen bonding forms between the chlorine is negatively charged of the positive hydrogen of the H2O. Similarly, and sodium interact with the oxygen of the water molecules. So this is the reason that electrostatic interaction occurs between charged molecules. Okay. Now come to the ionization of water. What is ionization of water? Water ionizes into the proton and hydroxyl ion. Means the H2O ionizes into proton and hydroxyl ions. So when we take the equilibrium constant, it is the ratio of the proton, hydroxyl ions and H2O. So here in brackets, the brackets represent the molar concentration of hydrogen, hydroxyl ions and H2O. The equilibrium constant is the 1.8 multiplied 10 to the power 16. It means the value of equilibrium constant is the 1.8 multiplied 10 to the power 16, and the molarity of water is the 55.5 molar. If we calculate the molarity of water, we calculate the molecular weight of water, which is the 18. So the molar, in case of molarity, the 1000 divided by 18 and we can calculate the 55.5 molarity. Molarity is the quantity of substance which is dissolved in per liter of solution. And the ionization of water defines the concentration of proton and hydroxyl ions. After calculating the equilibrium constants value, we found that hydroxyl and hydrogen ions is the 1.0 10 to the minus 14, and the 4 protons it is the 1.0 multiplied 10 to 7. This is the pH of the pure water is 20 degrees centigrade is 7. Now the basis of the pH is the concentration of proton and hydroxyl ion. Proton means H positive. So the ionization of water, it is the standard of the pH. pH measures the acidity and basicity of solution, and it is defined as the negative logarithm of the hydrogen concentration in moles per liter. So pH is equal to minus log H positive or log 1 upon H positive. So the scientist S.P.L. Sorensen coined the term pH, and he introduced the pH scale which ranges from 0 to 14. So the pH scales define the acidic or basic nature of the solution, and there are three terms used in pH: acidic pH, neutral pH and basic pH. So here in between 0 to 14, the pH 7 represents the neutral pH, which is neither acidic nor basic. Water at the 25 degrees centigrade has equal amount of proton and hydroxyl ions, indicating the neutral pH. Below the 7 pH, the hydroxyl ion is lower, and above the pH 7, hydroxyl ion is increased. It means it and in case of this, in case of proton, it is inverse. Below the pH 7, the proton is increased, it means acidic pH, and above the 7 pH, decrease the protons. So this is the reason the pH scale is inverse in case of the proton. Here you can see that different components or solutions has different types of pH, such as the gastric acid has pH 1. It means it has more protons as compared to hydroxyl ion, and urine slightly is the acidic, and distilled water is the pH 7, and the bleach, ammonium solution, milk of magnesium, they are alkaline pH. So here this is the pH scale which defines the acidity and basicity of the different chemicals or solution, and the pH is more important for the cellular functions, especially metabolic reactions, and the different subcellular organelles of the cells has different types of pH, such as mitochondrial matrix pH 7.5, 7.2 pH in the cytosol, nucleus has 7.2 pH, blood has 7.4 pH. So there are variations of pH within the cells compartments, and gastric juice has the highly acidic pH 1. So the water play many versatile roles in living organism. So water is a vital nutrient for every cell in all living organism. It is the first building material for life and essential for survival. It acts as a heat buffer, as a reactant. It helps in transportation of food nutrients. It removes waste material mainly through urination. It is essential also for plant synthesis, photosynthesis, and it is major component of saliva, synovial fluids, and eyes tears. It acts as a lubricants, joints, and also help to maintain the blood pH 7.4 in the human body. And there are some suggested books for further readings. Thank you for listening this video. I hope you really enjoy this session.